Hi everybody, Tiazla here from freeballetdanceclasses.com. I want to talk to you today about a concept in choreography in general that I have seen in the past, and I have taken classes before from other dancers that did it. Well, actually one dancer that did it and kind of like stuck with me and made me remember that it is such a fantastic tool to use, which is building a story with your choreography. And I'll tell you what I'm coming from, by the way, before we can even go on in detail with this one. But like I had a teacher when I used to do flamenco dance, and she's a Spanish lady, and she was like so strict, and super serious, that made something like dance felt like I don't know, just too much hard work. And for me, to be very honest with you, it was the reason, that teacher, who made me kind of like quit taking the classes, because I have been in love with flamenco dance, and I taken the classes because she was the best instructor in Morocco, in Casablanca. So I took the classes from her, and she was just too serious. And at the point I was like, what? I mean, like, come on now. Like, I am supposed to be having fun when I'm dancing. And so I just realized, no. So I quit flamenco dances because of her. But at the same time, I'd taken classes from her for a very long time, for almost a year, and I've learned so much from her. And one of the best things that I want to share with you today that I learned from her was this idea of stories that she was telling. Like, she would put like a story with a choreography, which was really kind of interesting. And examples of that was, and for those of you who know like flamenco and have done a little bit of flamenco, you know what I'm talking about. Like, there's a lot of hand gestures, for example, like that. Like, for example, that one for her, and this is a common, by the way, one for flamenco, she used to say, let's pick the apples and put them in the basket. I'm picking the apples and picking, throwing them in the basket and stuff like that. And or like when we go down like this, she would say, we're harvesting the fruit from the earth and then putting them in the basket. It was just like, like for me, back when I took this class from her, I was like, I don't know, maybe like 17, 18, I was really young, and I was a teenager, and I used to be like, whatever, it was kind of like stupid to me to hear someone talk like that. But now I'm like, oh, I mean, that totally works, because I mean, let's take it. I'm in my 30s, so it's been over like 15, maybe 20 years now that I have taken this class from this lady, and I remember this story that I'm telling you. I remember her telling me, pick up the apples and put them in the basket. You pick up the flowers and put them in the basket. I remember all this stuff. So there is a reason that I remember, is because it works. Building the story around moves and choreographies really helps, remember them. So for those of you who have memory problems about like moves and stuff, this is the way to do it. Build a story, So like for her, she would do things like this. Like she would say, oh, we're walking around the garden, we're walking around the garden, we're walking around the garden. Oh, we spotted the fruit, the apple tree. We're gonna grab an apple and put it in the basket, and then continue on walking around the garden, and walking around the garden, and walking around the garden. We spotted some flowers. We're gonna pick up the flowers and put them in the basket. Like stuff like that. And it would be like, oh, okay, and it just makes you remember to kind of like take a pause and walk before you do the next thing. Take a pause and walk when you do the next thing. And it was just like, oh, okay, whatever. Like, so when I was younger, it was pretty stupid. Like, that's really what I thought of it. But now I'm like, interesting. So anyways, I want to share that with you guys, because I really think it would be like a very cool idea. What if we made a choreography that was all like a story? Wouldn't that be interesting? Like, you'd be on stage and you're like doing like your choreography, and then you'd be like, I am dancing, I am walking, and then I saw somebody, and I'm like, ooh, hello you. Like, I'm just like faking it right now. But you know what I mean? Like, this is such a fantastic concept, and it totally works, obviously, because I still remember, like almost 20 years later, I still remember. So it's a way to really help you, like, get those moves stuck in the brain, and remember the sequence also. Like, this move is followed by this move, and it's followed by this move, and so on. And it's funny because I don't know if you guys know, but there is a competition in the world. There's like people with titles and like Guinness World Records and so on, but it's all about remembering numbers. And for these guys, by the way, they don't give him just like, oh, 5 numbers and they have to remember in a sequence, you know, they give him like hundreds of numbers, hundreds. Like they give him like 100 different numbers, like totally different, like totally like random, and then they have to memorize them in a certain order. Okay, that is hard, people, and you know that. So you gotta remember not just all the numbers, but you gotta remember them in a specific order. Okay, how do people win that? Well, it's funny because I have watched also a documentary before about this guy who held actually the world Guinness record of remembering the most random numbers in a sequence ever. And it's funny because someone asked him, how do you do that? So he finally, actually one day, which was actually the time that I watched the documentary because they were doing it like after he retired, right? Because he didn't want his secret to be out. But so he did it after like he was done. And obviously he won a lot of money doing so because they used to have like competitions where he won so much money. So he said this, and this is what he did. He would actually build a story. Like he had a certain relationship, is what he said, with the numbers that only he knew. So like 1, like every number had a name of a person. And only he knew those names. And he memorized those names by heart. Like he knew that number 1 was John. And number 2 was Nancy. Number 3 was, I don't know, David, whatever. Like he had all these different names that was associated with these numbers. And so when they were giving him like random numbers, he would just say, oh, okay, well, David asked Nancy on a date. All right. And then John was there. And it's funny because he was living in this world in his mind where he knew who these people are, these numbers that had names, you know, and then he had like personalities for them and everything. So when he was building his story around these numbers, it kind of made sense to him that so-and-so would date so-and-so and so-and-so will, you know, do something for so, you know what I mean? Like he just made up all this story around these names and numbers. So for him, it was like the story. It was only the story. And so when they asked him, which is the competition part, to re-say all those numbers in the same orders, all he did was he went back to his story and he would say, okay, so David asked Nancy, okay, so 3, 2, and then he would keep on going because David was always a 3. You know, Nancy was always, David was always a 3 and Nancy was always a 2, and then he would make up the story and then he would keep on going with it, and everybody was like mesmerized, like totally like shocked. So how could this human being remember all this stuff? So the point is, there are no geniuses out there when it comes to memorizing memory and memorizing like choreography or things, anything for that matter. People always create something, a system, a story. You know, something that works for them. And a story is a beautiful thing to use in something like choreography and dance. So I encourage you to use that concept because I think it would really help you memorize and remember the moves that you come up with or the moves that someone else comes up with. You know, you can watch someone's choreography and make up a story and then memorize it. Or you can make your own choreography and build a story around it and memorize it that way. So, you know, there's ways to do that. And people that we think are geniuses are not necessarily geniuses. You know, they're just people that have, let's say, a good sense of wisdom and a good sense of, practicality. You know, they have ways and they have rules and they have tools that they use. And they don't necessarily share those things with everybody because they want it for themselves. And that's why we think they're geniuses, because we don't know what they're doing. But by the time we know it, we're like, you are not that smart after all. Well, they were smart in a sense of creating those stories, but no, we get a little bit of that, a little bit of wisdom that we have to get for some people. So some people create their own wisdom, some people create their own intelligence, and some people have to borrow it from others. So there you go, that's the moral of the story. Anyways, I hope this little story that I want to share with you guys today helps you kind of find a way to make your choreographies and a dance choreograph together very easy to do around the idea of a story, because I think it's a really, really good tool to use. Okay, so if you have any questions, any comments, please post them on our website. It's freeballedanceclasses.com. I will see you guys next time. If you have not subscribed to the YouTube channel yet, please do so, because it's a great way to follow up with our videos. And also, make sure you check out our store on the YouTube channel. For those of you who learn my choreographies, I wonder where to get the songs for the choreographies. They are on the store page. Like if you are on the YouTube channel, you guys, right now, like if you look on top where it says videos, whatever, and then there's at the end says store, there is like a bunch of like different music there that you can buy straight from there. So you go straight to iTunes and you can buy it straight from there. Okay, so thank you so much for watching me, guys. You are wonderful for your support and wonderful for watching me all the time and building a wonderful community of belly dance students on this website. freebellydanceclasses.com is our website. I will see you guys next time. Thank you so much. Love you all. Bye.